It's Wednesday, March 15th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and we're getting back to business as usual after yesterday's storm. Kevin Coleman joining us today and the rest of the week with a look at your forecast and a Nutmeg Sports update. And Donald Eng will join us later to take a look back on this day in history. Now, due to yesterday's storm, some readers of HAN Network's papers may find their paper arriving on Friday rather than tomorrow on Thursday. For your convenience, because of that, the e-edition of those papers will be available for free for 24 hours. You can find it by simply going to your HAN Network papers website, look for the menu items above the masthead, and select e-edition. So definitely check that out tomorrow. But in today's news, as we said, we're all digging out today from yesterday's storm. Now, during the height of the snowstorm and during that statewide travel ban Tuesday, Connecticut state troopers responded to 40 no injury and only 1 minor injury crash, as well as 176 motorist assists and 908 calls for service. Now, you were just seeing a state police video there of a tractor-trailer accident yesterday on I-395. State police are thanking everyone who stayed off the state roads during that travel ban. Police say it also reduced the number of accidents and spinouts on state roads. Throughout the day yesterday, troopers issued 56 tickets to drivers who didn't heed that travel ban. And today, they're reminding everyone to clear all of the ice and snow off of your car. Failure to do so can put other drivers at risk should that ice fly at someone's windshield and could lead to a ticket. Roads are also icy today, but we'll be getting more on the forecast later on with Kevin Coleman. Now, Tuesday's storm also led to some flooding and big waves in Milford and other coastal towns. Check out this video from the Milford Mirror. This was about 1 p.m. yesterday as waves were crashing at the shoreline of Silver Sands Beach. Thankfully, most of the homes there had already been elevated. Milford Fire Battalion Chief Anthony Fabrizi said water was across the road at Milford Point Road and Seaview Avenue, and water was coming over the wall at Costa Azura about 12:30 yesterday. We also had reported flooding in the Rowayton section of Norwalk. And the Greenwich Police Department is searching for a Riverside resident that has been reported missing since Monday. Kenneth Wood Kahusik, 61 years old, also goes by the name Kenny, and he's a white male that is 6'1" and 190 pounds. He has green eyes and long gray hair with a small bald spot on top of his head. Wood Kahusik is also autistic and partially deaf. In addition to the missing persons report states that Wood Kahusik has burn marks from his ankle to his chin with a hunched over posture. He also has a gap in his front teeth. Now, Wood Kahusik was last seen by neighbors on March 12th during the afternoon hours walking up and down his street, which is a normal behavior. He's also known to frequent Greenwich Cleaners, Greenwich Wine and Spirits, and the Riverside Commons. Wood Kahusik is not believed to be operating a vehicle. If anyone has information on his whereabouts, please contact Greenwich Police at 203-622-8030. And a driver suffered serious injuries when a car became wedged under a truck in a 9-vehicle accident involving 3 trucks early Tuesday on I-95 North near exit 19 in Fairfield. Fairfield firefighters who arrived at that crash around 1:15 found that driver trapped inside the car, which had continued partially under a box trailer. I-95 North was closed for more than an hour. A total of 17 firefighters were needed to use pneumatic struts and airbags for a lifting operation of that box trailer, while at the same time compressing the suspension of the pinned vehicle. A grip hoist was used to remove the car from under that box trailer. Only then could the driver be extricated. That driver was transported to Bridgeport Hospital with serious injuries. A second driver from a different tractor trailer was also transported to the hospital for treatment and evaluation. And WTNH reports that police have identified an elderly man that was killed in a snowplow accident in East Hartford on Tuesday afternoon. Officers responded to the parking lot of the Willow Arms Apartments on Main Street at about 3 in the afternoon for a report of a car accident. Police say 83-year-old Daniel Barriga, who lived there, was struck by a privately owned plow truck contracted for the snow removal of the apartment complex. Barriga was taken to Hartford Hospital where he was pronounced dead. That accident remains under investigation by the East Hartford Police Department Accident Reconstruction Team. Police say that snowplow driver, identified as 47-year-old Kevin Barry, is distraught about the incident and fully cooperating with the investigation. In other news, the Monroe Police Department responded to a fight March 12th on Hattertown Road that involved multiple people and some injuries, leading to 4 arrests. Monroe Police Captain Kevin White said 4 arrests were made and 1 victim was admitted to Yale New Haven Hospital. The 5 people involved were all known to each other, and the assaults were confined to that group. He said the only weapon involved in that altercation was a 20-plus pound rock. White said investigation determined that 37-year-old John Best of Fairfield had used that rock and struck the victim in the head during that altercation. He was charged with first-degree assault and breach of peace. White said 38-year-old Yesenia DeJesus of Monroe was also charged with assault in the 3rd degree and breach of peace. 35-year-old Tiffany McNeil of Stratford was charged with assault and breach of peace. And 36-year-old William Bantle of Stratford was also charged with conspiracy to commit assault in the 3rd degree and breach of peace. And the Easton Planning and Zoning Commission voted 5-0 on Monday evening to approve the Saddle Ridge housing development that includes some designated affordable housing and duplex units. Now, that approval came with multiple conditions or requirements of the developer intended to lessen the project's impact on Easton's environment, such as requiring independent site engineers to oversee the development on behalf of the town and a maintenance reserve fund to be established to pay for needed inspections, maintenance, and repairs. P&Z Chairman Robert Marquette said the chance that a judge could overturn a P&Z denial of the application, imposing few, if any, conditions, is a greater risk than being proactive by approving that Saddle Ridge development. Now, you can get more on that story at eastoncourier.com. We're going to switch gears now, throw it over to Kevin Coleman for a look at the forecast. Kevin, it's cold out there.
It's cold out there. We still are trying to, come out of that big snowstorm we saw yesterday. It is nice, though, to see some sun this morning. If you're driving to work on the commute, it's nice to see some sun. But today, we expect to see a little bit more snow. A little bit of flurries before noon, then scattered snow showers mainly between noon and 4 p.m. Increasing clouds with a high near 28, with wind gusts as high as 28 miles per hour. Chance of participation at 30%. Tonight, cloudy during the evening, then gradual clearing with a low around 16. Thursday, partly sunny with a high near 31. Wind chill values between 5 and 15 with wind gusts as high as 29 miles per hour. Friday, get out your green. It's St. Patty's Day. It'll be sunny with a high near 40. Light wind in the morning, so if you're marching in any parades, it's a nice day to actually march. Saturday, we'll have some snow again, likely before noon, but then it'll turn into rain. Cloudy with a high near 41. Chance of participation is 60%, and sunny, partly sunny with a high near 39. So this weekend looks like it'll be a nice weekend around this area. I know a lot of people will be marching in St. Patrick's Day Parade. So that'll do it for your weather update. Kate, back to you.
All right, some better news. Thanks so much, Kevin. Yeah. Not too bad. Well, we are going to step out for a break, and when we come back, Donald Lang takes a look back on this day in history. Kevin has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and we have more local news coming up after this.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Make your St. Patrick's Day truly authentic with a wee bit of real Irish food, proper Irish-style rashers, sausage, and soda bread right from Ireland. Put down the corned beef and grab a boiling bacon to have what they really eat in the Emerald Isle. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
When it comes to your outdoor spaces, just imagine the possibilities. Whether your dream is a stunning freeform pool or a tranquil, secluded garden, the professionals at Stonebridge Associates will make it a reality. We offer unparalleled landscape design and construction, masonry development, pools, spas, and water features, even landscape maintenance. No other firm can offer the same level of creativity, quality, and personal attention. Discover the possibilities at stonebridgeassociates.net or call 203-544-8376 today.
At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We told Dad he could have his office back if he sold 150 cars last month.
Deal's a deal.
Well, Dad, you did it. You get your office back.
Forget it. I'm having too much fun down here. My new goal, 160 cars.
Wow.
Folks, if you ever wanted a great price on a new Nissan, now is the time.
Right now, lease a 2017 Altima 2.5S for only $99 a month.
Isn't it time you got Millerized?
Welcome back to this March 15th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski. We missed him yesterday, but Donald Ang is back after battling the snow, sending us some great video, too.
It was a lot of fun. It's,
to give us a look back on this day in history.
Yeah, well, today we commemorate a man who briefly was among the most powerful ever. First, well, actually a number of men who briefly were among the most powerful ever, starting in 44 BCE with Julius Caesar. The dictator of the Roman Republic, stabbed to death by Marcus Junius Brutus, Gaius Cassius Longinus, Decimus Junius Brutus, and several other senators on the Ides of March. The senators feared that Caesar, who had been proclaimed dictator perpetuo, that is, leader for life, intended to overthrow the Senate and rule Rome as a tyrant. Speaking of Rome and speaking of assassinations, on this date in 493, Odoacer, the first barbarian king of Italy after the fall of the Western Roman Empire, is murdered by Theodoric the Great, king of the Ostrogoths. Now, ironically, the murder happened while the two kings were feasting to celebrate the end of a long and destructive war between the two nations. Odoacer's reign, as I mentioned, generally considered the end of the Roman Empire, at least in the West. Now, you might think that the assassination would have gotten the new alliance off to a bad start, but you'd be wrong. Theodoric reigned as king of Italy and king of the Ostrogoths for the next 33 years, his reign the most peaceful and prosperous since the empire split 2 centuries earlier. To 2011 now, the Syrian civil war begins as part of a wider wave of protests during the Arab Spring. The violent repression of protests under President al-Assad split the country. Now, the war is way too complicated to explain here, but the short version is that there are at least 6 factions in a number of loose alliances, but these alliances are somewhat transient. For example, Russia supports the Syrian government, the United States and Turkey back the Syrian opposition. A third faction, the Islamist group Ahrar al-Sham, supported by Turkey, but not the US, and Russia and the US-led task force, but not Turkey, are also waging an air war against Islamic State. I told you it was complicated. An estimated 100,000 civilians have been killed, more than 7 million displaced since 2011. Finally, now we go to 1990 for this.
Overseas Mikhail Gorbachev has had his way again in the Soviet parliament. He was sworn in today to begin a 5-year term as executive president of the Soviet Union, with broad new powers to rule the country. But the results of the voting announced today make it clear that parliament will not be a pushover. ABC's Jim Laurie is in Moscow.
With his right hand on the Soviet Constitution, Mikhail Gorbachev swore himself in as the new executive president. For that, he got a standing ovation. In his acceptance speech, though, Gorbachev promised actions which may not win much applause. He pledged to use his sweeping new powers to push economic reforms faster, no matter how painful that might be. He warned of price hikes and budget cuts. Although he ran unopposed in the secret balloting for president, he got only 59% support. But that was evidence, said some, of growing Soviet democracy.
On this date, 1990, Mikhail Gorbachev named the first president of the Soviet Union. He would also be the last one. Within about 18 months, the country had splintered into 15 different countries. Now 86 years old, Gorbachev remains active in Russian politics as a third-party leader and as the owner of an opposition newspaper. That is your look back in history for today, March 15th, and I'm Donald Ng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, in other local news, a course for women in basic self-defense and situational awareness is being held in Darien at the Town Hall Gym on Saturday, March 25th from 3 to 5. The course is for mothers and daughters ages 12 and up and all women who want to learn the basics of self-defense in a safe and helpful environment. Training is being conducted by the Darien Police Department and hosted by Darien's Christ Community Church in Darien. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, about 20 million out of 112 million women, that's 18% in the United States, have been raped during their lifetime, and about 1.8 million adolescents in the U.S. have been victims of sexual assault. The fee for one registrant is $20, and any additional registrants per one party is $10. You can get more information on that at DarienTimes.com. We're going to throw it back now to Kevin Coleman for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Kevin.
Thank you, Kate. All games canceled tonight due to snow. There was some schools that closed today as well, so there's no games tonight in the state playoff picture. But the Division I ice hockey semis have been postponed as well to Friday. Due to that change, adjustments were made to championship game schedule. The Division III championship game remains at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Division II will now be at 2 p.m. on Saturday, and Division I will be 7 p.m. on Monday night. 5 FCAC teams remain in their respective state tournaments. In boys hockey, it's number 4 New Canaan who will face number 1 Northwest Catholic in the Division I state semifinals at Ingalls Rink. That game will be at 5:30 tomorrow night. The winner of that semifinal will face the winner of number 2 Richfield and number 6 West Haven. So we could see an FCAC rematch of New Canaan and Ridgefield. In girls basketball, it's number 1 Trumbull, who defeated Mercy 45-38 in overtime to advance to the Class L state final at Mohegan Sun on Saturday against number 8 New London. In boys basketball, number 6 Wilton defeated Crosby 65-60 in the Class L quarterfinals. The Warriors will now face number 2 Notre Dame Fairfield. Staying in boys basketball, number 6 Trinity Catholic defeated SMSA 66-58 in the Class S quarterfinals. Trinity Catholic will now face number 23 WCA in the Class S semifinals. Be sure to tune in to Nutmeg Sports at 2 p.m. Don and I will get you all covered. We'll get some previews ready for all this playoff fun. Kate, back to you.
Thanks so much, Kevin. And we're going to have you the rest of the week on Coffee Break, right?
I know. I'm excited.
All
Frank
right.
on a little vacay, so
well-deserved.
And did you see the pocket square, Bob?
It's very nice with snowflakes. See,
I woke up this
if Frank
morning
was here, he would have mentioned that. I didn't. I failed. So, very nice pocket square, Kevin. Now back to local news. The public hearing on another major development planned for Wells family land on Bridgeport Avenue in Shelton will continue on March 22nd at Shelton City Hall. Now, this project involves a 17.7-acre undeveloped parcel at Bridgeport Avenue and Long Hill Cross Road. Being proposed is a mixed-use development with 145 apartments, a 112-room hotel, as well as retail space, restaurants, and an auto center. Now, the project could include up to a dozen structures, with the 3 apartment buildings placed in the rear and away from Bridgeport Ave. Save Our Shelton, the citizens group formed to fight the massive Shelter Ridge project on the other side of Bridgeport Avenue, has retained an attorney to oppose this project as well. Now, the Planning and Zoning Commission approved the Shelter Ridge project back on March 7th. You can get more on that story at sheltonherald.com. In other news, Ridgefield has some lofty zoning regulations when it comes to livestock dating back to the town's beginnings of farmers in an agricultural economy. Well, residents may have as many livestock as they can maintain on a half-acre of land, which in the 1800s allowed them to feed their families and take part in the primary business economy. But fast forward a couple hundred years, and Tom Pesci, a magician by trade who lives on Lewis Drive in Ridgefield, has a neighbor on Manor Road with 3 horses, and he's not happy about it. He told the Ridgefield Board of Selectmen recently that because of a 200-year law saying this is okay, a horse has broken through his fence and his yard. He went on to say that they walk horses down the street and manure is left on the road, and there are dog cleaning laws but no horse cleaning laws. He's asked the board to pass an ordinance similar to one that was passed in 2007 on Abbott Avenue, 5 blocks away from him, exempting Shadow Lane, Lewis Drive, and Manor Road from the zoning regulations that permit horses on properties of a half acre or more. Pesci and his family are not the only ones complaining. Multiple families from around the area raised concerns about the smell, saying they can't open their windows anymore. Inland Wetlands Director Beth Pizer inspected the scene and said in an email to First Selectman Rudy Marconi that the 3 horses on Manor Road were under the number that's legally permitted there. There's a lot more on that story at theridgefieldpress.com. And Weston tree warden Bill Lomas announced that Eversource will be doing some scheduled work in much of southern Weston. Marking of trees with red ribbons has begun. Those trees are to be removed to assist with providing dependable power in the area. If residents have questions or concerns or want to discuss other trees near lines, they can contact the tree warden at 203-331-6035. In addition, Eversource will be pruning and trimming on streets denoted by the color in the scan diagram that you just saw there. Areas in light pink are marked for enhanced tree trimming, and areas in red are marked for backbone maintenance trimming and enhanced tree removal. More on that story at thewestonforum.com. And in Darien, with the town's purchase of a large portion of the Oxridge Hunt Club's field space now confirmed, neighbors to the property are taking steps to make sure that that space is used in a way that's beneficial to the surrounding community and the town as a whole. A group of about 50 families, identified as the neighbors of the Oxridge Hunt Club, submitted a joint letter to town officials requesting the 16.25-acre parcel be used for passive recreational activities rather than team sports or other organized athletics. Passive recreational activities could include things like jogging, dog walking, picnic areas, and bike riding. Their letter also recommends that new parking should be established on the north end of the property along Middlesex Road and protected by landscaping barriers. More on that story at DarienTimes.com. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today on your coffee break after this.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. MrHandymanCT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the spring clearance event and Ram Truck Month, now through March 31st.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
While there's still a bite out on the water, most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Wild Birds Unlimited.
At Wild Birds Unlimited of Brookfield, get expert advice from our certified bird feeding specialists. We offer always fresh, clean seed that will be sure to attract birds to your home feeder. Experience our excellent customer service. Open 7 days a week. Visit us at 317 Federal Road, Brookfield.
Wild Birds Unlimited. We bring people and nature together.
It's the InSports Athletic Functional Movement Assessment Program.
A program that uses a camera, the same camera that you use with an Xbox video game.
What it involves is 3 phases. One is the initial test, which will give you a very objective and lengthy assessment of how you are moving and where there may be imbalances.
Once test gets the results from the assessment, we'll develop a customized program for the individual.
The objective really to try to get as many young athletes through this program as possible. It's the in-sport.
Welcome back to this Wednesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. Now, we're all digging out from yesterday's storm, and during the height of the snowstorm and during that statewide travel ban on Tuesday, Connecticut state troopers responded to 40 no injury and only 1 minor injury crash, as well as 176 motorist assists and 908 calls for service. You're seeing state police video there of a tractor-trailer accident yesterday that happened on I-395. State police are thanking everyone who stayed off state roads during that travel ban. Police say it also reduced the number of accidents and spinouts on state roads. Throughout the day yesterday, troopers issued 56 tickets to drivers who did not heed that travel ban. Now today, state police are reminding everyone to clear all of the ice and snow off your cars, even at the top, seeing a lot of that. Failure to do so can put other drivers at risk should that ice fly at someone's windshield, and it could lead to a ticket. Roads are oh so icy, but we'll be checking back in with Kevin Coleman in a bit for more on that. Now, Tuesday's storm led to some flooding and big waves in Milford and other coastal towns. Check out this video from the Milford Mirror about 1 p.m. yesterday as waves were crashing at the shoreline of Silver Sands Beach. Thankfully, most of the homes there are already elevated. Milford Fire Battalion Chief Anthony Fabrizi said water was across the road at Milford Point Road and Seaview Avenue, and water was coming over the wall at Costa Azura about 12:30 in the afternoon. We also had reporting flooding in the Rowayton section of Norwalk. In other news, the Greenwich Police Department is searching for a Riverside man that's been missing since Monday. Kenneth Wood-Kahusik, 61 years old, also goes by the name Kenny, and he's a white male that is 6'1" and 190 pounds. He has green eyes and long gray hair with a small bald spot on top of his head. Wood-Kahusik is also autistic and partially deaf. In addition, in the missing persons report states that Wood-Kahusik has burn marks from his ankle to his chin with a hunched over posture. He also has a gap in his front teeth. Now, he was last seen by his neighbors on March 12th during the afternoon hours walking up and down his street, which is a normal behavior for him. He's known to frequent Greenfield Cleaners, Greenwich Wine and Spirits, and the Riverside Commons. Wood-Kahusik is not believed to be operating a vehicle. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to contact Greenwich Police at 203-622-8030. And a driver suffered serious injuries when a car became wedged under a truck in a 9-vehicle accident involving 3 trucks early Tuesday on I-95 North near Exit 19 in Fairfield. Fairfield firefighters arrived at that crash around 1:15 and found the driver trapped inside the car, which had continued partially under a box trailer. I-95 North was closed for more than an hour, and a total of 17 firefighters were needed to use pneumatic struts and airbags for a lifting operation of that box trailer, while at the same time compressing the suspension of that pinned vehicle. A grip hoist was used to remove the car from under that box trailer. Only then could the driver be safely extricated. That driver was transported to Bridgeport Hospital with serious injuries. A second driver from a different tractor trailer was also transported to the hospital for treatment and evaluation. And WTNH reports that police have identified the elderly man killed in a snowplow accident in East Hartford on Tuesday afternoon. Officers responded to the parking lot of the Willow Arms Apartments on Main Street around 3 to the report of a car accident. Police say 83-year-old Daniel Barriga, who lived there, was struck by a privately owned plow truck contracted for snow removal at the complex. Barriga was taken to Hartford Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. That accident remains under investigation by the East Hartford Police Department Accident Reconstruction Team. Police say that the plow driver, identified as 47-year-old Kevin Berry, is distraught about the incident and fully cooperating with the investigation. Now, taking a turn due to yesterday's storm, some readers of HAN Network's papers may find their paper arriving on Friday rather than Thursday. For your convenience, the e-edition of your local paper is available for free for 24 hours. Simply go to your HAN Network news site and look at the menu items above the masthead and select e-edition there. So definitely check it out. It's a good opportunity. But let's throw it back over to Kevin Coleman. One final look at the forecast. Kevin.
Thank you, Kate. Hopefully everyone is trying to get themselves buried out of the snow this morning. Hopefully everyone had a safe commute and a safe snow day yesterday. Today we expect to see a little bit more flurries in the forecast before noon, then some scattered snow showers, mainly between noon and 4 p.m. Increasing clouds at a high near 28 tonight. Thursday, partly sunny with a high near 31. Wind chill values between 5 and 15 with a wind gust as high as 29 miles per hour. Friday, get out your green. It's St. Patrick's Day. It'll be sunny with a high near 40 degrees, light wind in the morning, so a beautiful day if you are marching in any parades. Saturday, we'll see some snow again, likely in the morning time, then it'll turn into rain in the afternoon with a high near 41. And Sunday, it'll be partly sunny with a high near 39. That's your weather update. Kate, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Kevin. Well, we're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break. Coming up at 12:30, CT Pulse. We'll talk with Shelton Mayor Mark Loretti and his future plans as far as running for governor. And then, of course, 2 o'clock, Nutmeg Sports Show. So be sure to check it out. We'll see you tomorrow for your coffee break at 11.